From a moment, ooh, from a moment, and finally the time is now to shine.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Family, friends, frenemies, enemies, and foes. What's going on? How you doing? You'll know who this is. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. I am that man that goes by the name of Clyde Rush. 2024 is here. Happy New Year. I know it's like I don't know what day it is, but whatever day it is, I know it's past the first of New Year. Hey, listen, how have you been? How's things been going for you so far? I've trust and believe that, you know what, things are going the way that you wanted to go because we're in a new season, we're in a new cycle, we're in a new point of emerging and becoming the best version of ourselves, simply by making some choices and decisions about things that we've decided that we're no longer going to go engage in, that we're no longer going to do, and that we've made a decision to change and become somebody other than who we've been. I know 2023 for me was a challenging year. There's no question about it. I've overcome so many different things. I'm not even going to talk about it. But what I do know is those challenges were brought to me so that I can change and become who I'm emerging to become today. And that's what we look at challenges as, a challenge to change, to become more than you were. And only with us to really grow through the situations and circumstances that we have kind of been invited to is to decide that we have to shift our mindset from what was to what is, to become, to do, and to have more. So when we look at those different aspects, we're talking about patterns of recognition, which is what part 2 is all about, patterns of recognition and identifying what these patterns actually are and how they impact our lives. So I'm not going to be long before you. This is going to be one of the fastest ones I've ever done because I decided that this year I'm going to change the format up just a little bit. I know. I'm not going to change it up that much, but I am going to be conscientious of your time and my time, and I'm going to be very respectful of it. So I'm not going to keep you here long. Say what it is that I have to say, turn this thing off, and get you guys in and out of here just as fast as possible because I have to be respectful of your time as well as mine. I left you off with isolation and procrastination in part 1. If you didn't see or don't remember, check out part 1 again. And it helps the views, by the way, I'm just saying. But anyway, isolation and procrastination. When we isolate ourselves off, it's a lack of trust that we actually have for having other people in our circle. And sometimes isolation is really important and necessary for us to become, do, and have those things that we need to have. But we don't have to have everybody running around in our circle. Keep that circle really tight and keep those people there who are really significant and important in your life, all right? Procrastination. Oftentimes we procrastinate with something because we're trying to be perfect in the thing it is that we see in our mind's eye, to do those things in such a perfectionist way that we procrastinate, we hinder, we we delay, we just wait. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later. That's a good one. I was always good to say, well, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to it in a couple of minutes. I put a whole bunch of other things in front of it. So I won't, especially if it was working out, or if it was making a nutritious drink, or if it was something as far as doing some documentation or some studying as far as this light body transformation. And even just getting to do the podcast was that I'll do it. But now I'm here to say isolation and procrastination, you got to address them. There's no way for you to build by building yourself. Yes, you can get things started, especially if you're an entrepreneur, to get things started in a way that's fine for you and get things moving, that's fine. But to really scale your business and grow to the next level, or to do that same thing in a relationship, yes, the first relationship that we must have is the relationship with self. And I always say the same thing. How can you love somebody else without loving yourself first? If you don't know what the metric or the measure of love actually is, how can you give what it is that you don't have within? All right. Same thing with procrastination. Enough of the delays. We've been waiting and talking and hemming and hawing, and I'm going to wait to do this. Enough of it. It's time for us to move forward and get things done because time is going by anyway. And yes, I do realize that time is a construct, but in this construct of it, we got to get what it is that we need to get done. And what ends up happening is if you really get to the essence of what this is all about, you'll understand quantum. And when you understand quantum, you'll understand what you can actually do with that thing called time. All right. That's another podcast that we'll talk about at a later date when we talk about quantum theories of relativity and time. All right. So it's all coming for you this year. We got a whole new year stuff. Anyway, with that being said, let's jump right into this. I left off at number 6. We're going into number 7, victim mentality and personal responsibility. Victim mentality. And we're going to change that victim mentality to personal responsibility. Again, we're looking at the negative sides or the dark sides of what patterns are and changing it and transforming it, alchemizing it to the light side. All right. So that victim mentality, they're always doing this to me. They're always allowing this to happen to me. What happens if we turn that to personal responsibility, transitioning from a victim mentality and taking personal responsibility for one's life and choices? It's not them, those, them, and others. It's what you allow to happen, what you choose, what you decide to go on in your life. It's a decision that you make. You're making this decision to either do, to be, or to have, to allow people to treat you in a way, to do. Those are your responsibilities. All right. So when you decide it's not going to happen no more, guess what? It's not going to happen. And now you're empowered. You take your power and you do the things it is that's essential for you to become powerful by being empowered. And how do you become empowered? Responsibility. Take responsibility for what's happening inside your life, the good and the bad, the good or the not so good. That's your responsibility to take on. All right. You can make the decision and adjust, break those patterns of thought that were not really constructive or conducive for your life, change it up. That victim mentality to personal responsibility, transitioning from a victim mentality to taking personal responsibility for one's life and for choices. All right. That's what it's all about. Negative attachment patterns to healthy boundaries. Negative attachment patterns to healthy boundaries. Breaking unhealthy attachment patterns and establishing healthy boundaries in relationships. All right. So here's the deal. You know good and well you ain't got no business hanging out with them people. You know good and well you want to tell them no, but you decide to go anyway. You know good and well, I think I don't want to, but I don't know how to tell them. Figure it out. No was a complete sentence. You don't have to figure anything else out. Negative attachment to those patterns, those places, those people, those things. Got to break those patterns. All right. And set some healthy boundaries up for yourself. The first thing that's important to learn how to say is 2 simple letters. No. Period. I'm not going. Nope. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not saying this. No, I don't want to be there. No, I don't want you here. It's okay. You've got to get comfortable with it being okay for you. That's a healthy boundary. Not saying no to everything, but saying no to the thing you definitely don't want to do, no to the place you definitely don't want to go, and yes to you. If it doesn't serve me, the answer is no. Get comfortable saying that. Practice in front of the mirror telling yourself, hey, this doesn't serve me. No. And practice it and be okay with it. I promise you. You're going to get good at saying no. When you get good at saying no, you took your power back. This is about empowerment. But before you can be empowered, you got to be able to identify what those patterns are. What are those recognitions of patterns that I've been participating in all this time that have not really served me and have limited me? And that limitation has caused these limiting beliefs that I actually have. Well, guess what? We're going to crush those limiting beliefs. Okay. We're going to dismantle those patterns. And we're going to empower ourselves by building a nice, solid foundation by taking responsibility for what it is that we choose to do and choose not to do. Number 9, stagnation to continuous growth. What would happen if you decided, you know what? I'm really not where I want to be in my life right now. I've been sitting around, delaying, waiting, watching things happen, participating in things, going places I really don't want to go. I created this stagnation point for my life. I identified it as a pattern. But I'm going to change that now in 2024. And I'm saying to myself, I'm going to be focused on continuous growth. I'm going to replace a pattern of stagnation with commitment to continuous personal, spiritual, mental, emotional, command of my body, growth, whatever it takes, whoever I must be willing to become. Because if I was that person right now, I'd already be in continuous growth. But I've got to emerge from who it is that I am right now and decide to do something different so that I can become somebody other than who it is that I am. Now, listen, if you're happy in the world and the sun comes up and the daffodils and everything is blowing around in the wind and you skipping and tripping and everything else is all right in your world, I'm happy for you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those people who sit there and meander inside their head saying, I wish I would have, could have, should have. Maybe this is my moment. Maybe this is my time. Perhaps things would be different for me if I decide to do this one thing. What happens if I just decide to grow a little bit more than the pace and the speed that I've been growing? What happens if I decide to pick up a book and I read something in that book, and that book inspires me? And when it inspires me, my desire sets on fire to become and to do the thing it is that I truly desire to have and truly desire to be. And I move forward. And that impacts not only me, but it impacts the world. And I start to work and function on my purpose, my position, my mission, my oneness. And I understand that. And I operate from that place and space. And now, leverage, impact, and freedom, not just for me, because I'm operating in my gifting, my uniqueness, my oneness. When I operate from that place and space, it's effortless for me to do the thing it is that I enjoy doing. I love it so much, I could do it all day. But since I do it so well, I could take it to the marketplace and I can be compensated for it. That's continuous growth. That's replacing a pattern of stagnation with a commitment to continual personal growth, to become more than I ever thought was possible for me. Continuous growth. Let's continue on. Number 10, materialism to spiritual fulfillment. Materialism to spiritual fulfillment. What is that? Transforming a materialistic mindset into one that's focused on spiritual fulfillment and inner peace. Let me tell you something. I gave up my peace a few years ago, willingly. I didn't even know. I was just moving and shifting these boundaries that I thought that I had set for myself for the convenience of them, those, and others, family, friends, frenemies, enemies, and foes. That's what I was doing, shifting, huckling and buckling and shuffling around. Blew up. Body got all contorted, trapped emotions all over myself. Didn't even recognize it. And like I said, I happened to see this one image, this picture. When I saw that picture, I was like, who's that dude? He looks familiar. I kid you not. This is a true story. He looks familiar. But who is he? And I had to really take a hard look at this picture. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. Shock of the hour. Shocking moment. I didn't even recognize my own self. I was so distorted. I didn't even know it was me. Yeah. Materialism to spiritual fulfillment. I was so busy doing the things that others needed and wanted me to do that I compromised my values, my morals, my principles to get the things that made everybody else happy at my expense. And at the end of the day, when the wash cycle was finished, there was only one person taking stuff out the dryer, out of the washing machine and out of that spin cycle, and it was me. Nobody else was around. I can tell you, nobody else around, because I'll never forget that feeling when you standing there and the spin cycle of your life is finally coming to that place where, you know, the washing machine spin cycle and it's wringing all the moisture out of what that article of clothing may be, except that this is my life and I was being wrung dry. Yet I still had to figure out how to find some spiritual fulfillment while I was in that cycle, similar to a phoenix that rises up out of the ashes and the ruins of life and takes off. That's that type of spiritual fulfillment, transforming a materialistic mindset into one focused on spiritual fulfillment and inner peace. When I was coming through in my awakening, and as I was becoming who it is that I am, and I'm still emerging, I never forget this feeling of something coming through the top of my chest, piercing into my heart to release the toxins that had permeated and filled my heart and made it hard and callous. And that piercing allowed that toxin to ooze out and allow this heart to start pumping again, CPR, and resuscitate. And that allowed this coherence between my heart and brain to start to function and operate. My heart was no longer contained in a box, and I was able to feel again and understand that there was something greater within me that I had boxed in to fit in. And those materialistic things are a thing of the past. They're not even here right now. They're gone. And I do as much as I possibly can to get rid of any remnants of those things that I see. I kid you not. I put some stuff to take out to the trash today. Stuff, I'm just looking around. When you get to that place in space where the materialistic things that you actually have around you in your environment, you realize that there's memories attached and associated to that stuff. There are memories attached and associated to the things that you actually have around you that remind you of a place that no longer serves you. Get rid of that stuff. Materialistic, small pictures, frames, jewelry, that stuff holds energy. You need to get rid of that energetic stuff. I know we get attached. Attached is a pattern. We get attached to holding, that's my stuff. That's my stuff. Same thing with people that have given you things. People have given you things, people who have given you things and they're no longer in your life, get rid of that stuff too. Because while you're holding, I don't care how much valuable you think it is, you have more worth than that item or that thing. Get rid of that thing. Toss it out. Or you know what? If you feel bad about tossing it out, donate it to somebody else. Let them get the benefit of you giving it to them. Look, I'm so serious about this. You could, matter of fact, you can section this right off here and just listen to the same piece over and over and over and over and over and over again. Break that pattern of holding on to stuff that people have given you who are no longer in your life or who do not serve you. That's the bottom line. Get rid of it. Donate it. Goodwill. Take it someplace. But it's not serving you by you holding on to it because you're holding on to a pattern of thought or belief and action that never really served you. Get rid of it. Materialism to spiritual fulfillment. Think about how that spirit's going to feel when you're free. And when you're free, you don't even want anything around you. I look around me right now, and I constantly, from this particular space and place that I'm in right now, I can see the sky. I can see the sun when it comes up. I can see the moon as it comes up because it's all revolutionized around, right? So how would I not see one without seeing the other? I don't see them at the same, well, sometimes, depending on how it is that I'm positioned outside. But in that moment, like when you realize that you're in your new space and you're in your new place, those things that were remnants from before, including thoughts and ideas, excavated. And I mean quickly, like as fast as you see it is as fast as you get rid of it. I put some stuff to take out and get rid of. I mean, literally, seriously, right before I got on, I literally was like, I got to get this out of here. I didn't even want it in my house. Done. You served this purpose already. Done. Break that attachment. All right. Here we go. We're just about done. So like I said, this last one was number 10, materialism to spiritual fulfillment, transforming materialistic mindset into one focused on spiritual fulfillment and that inner peace. That inner peace, that's where life is, that inner peace. When you get that and you have it, don't ever let it go because it costs too much to get back. Sometimes you never get it back. That inner peace, that tranquility, that stillness, that silence, that oneness that you actually have with just being you as enough, yeah, that's something special. I know I got my 2 watches on, right? So when I'm doing these bodybuilding competitions, right? I have one watch to keep me in time with the day and the world, and the other watch to keep me in time with my body and what's actually going on. So that's the science behind the two. When you see me rocking 2 of these things like this, it's because I'm either getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, I've just entered into a challenge or something along those lines, but one is for the body and one is to keep my time of day for what it is that I got to do. All right. So last thing with this here, what are patterns? Patterns are repetitive behaviors, thoughts, and situations and circumstances that engage us without conscious awareness. We're not even conscious of it. They're just patterns. We just do it. Here's another example of that. The body telling you, I'm tired. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I want to lay down. That's the body saying that because that's a program. So now we have to invert that and we have to get the mind over the matters of the body. So no, we tell the body, no, listen, I'm not listening to you. You're going to listen to what I say. The body has to submit to what the mind tells it. But if you play for the trick and the trick is played on top of you, you'll always go for what the body says because the body will trick you into believing that the body is talking instead of the mind talking. No, this tells the body what to do. You can look, you can recover. You can heal yourself with the power of this mind epigenetically. Change the environment of the expression of the cells within your body. You want to have a vital life. You want to have vitality. You want to have that vigorous life. You want to be energetic. Instead of saying, I'm so tired, I need to go to bed. I need to go to sleep. I need to. What happens if you say, I am strong enough right now to do the thing it is? I am strong enough to complete. I have the power within me to do the thing it is that I say. I am, followed by whatever else it is. You're empowering yourself. Affirmations, presupposition questions. Get that subconscious mind online. Fire and wire new neurological connections inside your brain. When the light body turns on, the illuminance of it, the knowledge of it, the awareness, the consciousness of it, that's the light body expression. And when you do that, it's going to take you and invite you to other places that you've never been before. And you can't become somebody who you've never been by being somebody who you've always been. It don't work like that. You got to relinquish one in order to become the other. You can't be new and be old at the same time. You've got to succumb to one. Y'all get me all fired up out here. Look, here's the deal. In order to do something you've never done, you got to be willing to become somebody who you've never been. All the stuff that you've already done, you already have the identity for that person. In order to do the new thing, you got to be a new person. That's how it is. You can't pour new wine into an old skin. The acidity of the new wine will burst the skin. That's a principle. All right. It's in the book. I studied it. I read it. I know it. I applied it. It don't work. Can't pour new wine into old skin. The acidity of the new wine will always burst the old skin out. It just happens. You can't put a new body in the old stuff. I got clothes and suits, tailor-made stuff, like stuff that I would listen. When I was doing insurance and doing financial planning and all that kind of stuff, and my ties and my shirts and my watches and socks and all that stuff that's when I was out there socially doing things. I mean, I kid you not. I still retain the information though. But my wrapper, my package, the suits, the ties, all of that stuff, yeah, that was to get in the door. The thing that made me stay in the door was the information that I contained within the body, which I still have. So I got rid of all of that stuff, but I retained the information. So now when you have a question about the other stuff that it has to do with financial integrity, we can talk about that. I'm one of those cats. I'm one of those guys. Anyway, all right, so let's continue on with this because I said I'm not going to be long before you. I hope I didn't go too long. I don't even know what time it is because you'll know I got two watches on and still never know what time it is. Because when I'm doing what it is that I love to do, time doesn't matter. But I have to make it matter because it's your time too. So here's what happens. They can be formed through various life experiences, conditioning, beliefs, and habits. Patterns can be positive or negative and can influence our choices, actions, and reactions. That's what patterns actually are. Patterns are repetitive behaviors, thought, situations that engage us without us consciously being aware of it. They can be formed through various life experiences, conditioning, beliefs, and habits. Patterns can be positive or negative and can influence our choices, actions, and reactions. All right. So listen, with that being said about patterns, I think you guys get it. I think you understand it. Repetitive experiences, reactions, cultural and some social influences, childhood upbringings, family dynamics, personal beliefs and conditioning, emotional responses. to past events. We can check all of that stuff and get it under control. You know how you feel. You know what's up. It's time. Patterns carry meaning, and it's important to pay attention to them. More importantly, about just paying attention to them, it's also important to get the right insights to our inner world based on the patterns that we can constantly repeat over and over and over. There's something about that. Check yourself out. They talk about driving to work the same way every single day. And if you decide this one day to go to another way, think about the experience that you'll actually have when you're going in that other direction. I know I've done it. Matter of fact, I just did a party last night because I DJ too, right? I'm on the highway and I'm driving and I'm focused. And I'm like, yeah, really get in. I almost missed my exit. I could not believe I almost missed my exit. And I was like, wait a minute, because I was so focused on what I was going to do today that I was still driving. No problem. It was only me out there on the road. It wasn't that late, but I was the only one that was out there. I wasn't meandering back and forth between lanes. I was on my lane. I was gunning. I was going. And I look up and the exit is right there. I did not realize I was so close. Got off. I'm just saying, when you're really focused and you tuned in, tapped in, and dialed in, some amazing things happen. All right. So let's get truly focused. Follow one course until successful. Fear, face everything and rise. Dig, discover your inner greatness. Believe in yourself. Do what it is that's necessary for you to do. Break those patterns that are repetitive, that are no longer constructive, that actually help you, all right? Recognizing and addressing patterns, especially those that are detrimental, is a crucial step in a process of self-awareness and awakening the light body. It allows us for personal evaluation, healing, and the potential for a more conscientious life. So listen, that's pattern recognition, y'all. For the light body experience, I want you to be as light as possible. And I'm not talking about the luminance of a bulb. I'm talking about the awareness of consciousness. And when this light body comes on, there's just so much about yourself that you're going to find out through discovery about what's really possible for you and who it is that you truly are. And all things start to come back online. We forgot a great portion about who we truly are through socialization, institutionalization, along the lines of limitation. We want to break those dynamics down and reclaim the power of who it is that we truly are. Resist those people who no longer serve us. Put them off to the side and create a nice, tight circle of people who really have the best interests at your heart. Doesn't make a difference if it's family, friends, enemies, or foes. Get rid of those people who no longer serve you in your life. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, with that being said, peace, blessings, prosperity, and abundance. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am going to be on more than twice a week now. This is 2024, and I said I'm going to give you some more, so I will be popping up here. Keep your channels tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe and all the rest of that stuff that goes along with this thing. I got to get these those metrics and all that crazy stuff going on here, so I can actually be up on here. But anyway, the algorithms and all that crazy stuff that goes along, I had to do a lot of studying to find out about this stuff. But anyway, I appreciate each and every single one of y'all being here, and nothing but admiration and love for you. And I just want you to have this light body experience and understand what it's really all about from one brother's experience of illuminating the inner court and the inner body, and what it actually means as far as the quantum body, the physical alchemy that actually happens in the coherence in the body. That's what we're talking about here. So I thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. Hopefully, I don't know how long I was here. It couldn't have been too long because you're still here. Whatever has been said, enjoy, y'all. Peace, blessings, namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. One love to y'all. I'm out. Peace.